Today's episode is brought to you by Romer Skincare. Based out of Chicago, Romer launched a work-from-home clean skincare line that covers all of your skin needs. They proved that you don't need a million serums and eye creams to get better skin. Why we love them? Clean ingredients and effective results with just a simple 3-step routine that you and even your partner can share. Right now, Romer Skincare is offering our listeners 15% off and a gift with your first purchase by using code LISTENER15. That's code LISTENER15 on their website, romerskincare.com. No stress, no clutter, just happy skin.
It's the Infectious Groove Podcast, recorded at the 33 and 3rd Music Appreciation Center in Speakeasy, just outside of Detroit, Michigan. The Infectious Groove Podcast is your source for Jammy Jams, music news, and the best in-depth music discussion. Now here's your host.
Heyo, it's Russ, and I am here along with Kyle and Michelle. How you guys doing?
We're great.
Good. It is so hot in Detroit right now. Yeah. It is a little too much.
Excuse me?
Outside. Yeah, I know. I'm usually the guy that wants it to be hot. It is never too much outside. Yeah. So we have along with us from the Fat, Drunk, and Stupid podcast, a man who I'm looking at right now is not fat, and I don't believe he's drunk, and depending on what's in that glass. I've heard your show. You're not stupid. So, Rob, welcome to the show. Tell us why your show is so inaccurately named.
I want to do a study in false advertisement.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's like a social study. No, when I was naming the podcast, I was trying to think of something that was, kind of stuck out, I guess.
Sure.
Easy to remember.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's easy to remember.
And because the show is really about nothing in particular, I didn't want to call it like the comic book hour or something like that.
Yeah, and then not talk about comics.
Kind of just what I decided to settle on.
Right on. Cool. So yeah, you're pretty much general. Everything I've heard is just kind of, you could just go with whatever like current events and social things are going on, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I started off kind of just hanging out with a couple of my buddies and kind of shooting the breeze, as most people do. And then as COVID kicked off, me and the buddies haven't hung out since like January. So then it was just me and, whatever I was thinking about. So it kind of turned into that.
Right on. We got hooked up with Rob through the podcast creator community, which is awesome. Like the creator community is just ridiculous. Like everybody tries to support everybody else. I was personally really worried when I got into that. I was like, these people that have been at this for longer than us are going to be like, get out of here, new kid. And people like Rob and Ariel from Malice, and there's been so many people who have been really supportive and like helped me along with it. And one quick story I want to share that, and I showed you guys this the other day, was about how cool and connected the creator community is. One of the cool things that happened to us early on is there's a guy named Frank Landry who does a YouTube channel about vinyl, and it's like a huge channel. Like tons of people watch this channel. Way back in the day when we first started the show, he did a feature on my basement, like with the records and everything, and he was gracious enough to mention the podcast on that episode without even me asking or anything. He put our logo up and said where to find us and all that. It was really cool, right?
Yeah, sweet.
So like that was cool on its own. Mm-hmm. Then I was watching his latest episode the other day, and he showed this other guy who has his own basement, and then he says, and you should check out this guy's YouTube channel. It's called the Vinyl Dens. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll go look at that guy's channel, based on how cool his Vinyl Den looks. So I'm going through this guy's videos, and he has a whole video about other YouTube channels dedicated to vinyl and music podcasts. And I was like, sweet, I'll watch that just to see what he has to say about music podcasts. And I sent this to you guys, like, we were one of the podcasts that he recommended.
And you're like, I don't even know who this person is. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, like, so just, it's a story about how cool, like, a full circle creator community can be. Mm-hmm. So I really, that stuff is really, really cool. I was stunned. Like I was just watching this video just to see what other music podcasts were out there. And then the guy's like recommending us. I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. So, yeah. So if you do want to join the community and find us, you have so many ways to do it. You can go to infectiousgroupodcast.com now. You can find us on Twitter at infectious_pod. And if you want to support the show, which we are really hopeful that you would want to, you can go to anchor.com/infectiousgrouppodcast and support the show for as little as $1 a month. Having said that, we have all of that stuff that we wanted to get out of the way before we even get into everything. The main topic for this week is going to be music festivals, something that I don't know if we'll ever see again, but we'll get into that.
Fingers crossed, man.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit for sure. So before we do that, sometimes we're light on music news, and that is not the case this week. So let's get into it.
Music news.
Kyle, what is going on in the world of music news?
So I have a follow-up on Kanye West from last week,
Which
it's not him being crazy.
I feel like that's going to be a sentence you're going to say a lot.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up on Kanye.
So it has to do with getting back masters, like we were talking about before. But he is now pledged to give the artists that are signed to him 50% of their masters back,
which is rad.
Yes,
it's literally putting your money where your mouth is.
Yes. Yeah. So like Big Sean, for instance, is signed to Kanye West's record label and is going to be getting 50% of royalties from his masters. Which
Big Sean, whose latest record is called Detroit 2, and
Yes.
Michelle, upon hearing it, asked if he was from Detroit and if there was a Detroit 1.
I forgot about that.
I did do that.
You sure did. When I was listening to our playlist for that week, every time it came up, I looked at the title and was like, Jesus Christ. He very famously dated Ariana Grande for a bit, didn't he? Or was associated with her or something?
Yes, I think so.
How would I know who she's dated?
Well, there was a point in time where
Aiko.
Ariana Grande was very important in your house. But that's great though. Literally putting his money where his mouth is.
So it's not him just like mouthing off and being crazy again. He was actually being proactive with the whole Masters thing, and he's still vowing to not do anything else until he gets what he wants.
Yeah.
But he's also giving people what they deserve in the meantime, which is
and like
awesome.
I say, that's shades of the Prince discussion too. Like Prince literally in the mid '90s was like, okay, well, we're done here until I get what I want, and famously Prince got what he wanted.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
Rob, is that something like I know you're not like, obviously we're super intense about music, like artist rights and masters and stuff. Is that something you even crosses your mind as a like a music fan or no?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think the one thing about Kanye is that he has a lot of good points when he talks about this stuff, and him doing that with the masters is a great thing. But there's also the other stuff, like taking a whiz on his Grammy and stuff like that. So you kind of like, I don't really know with this guy what's going on with this guy, but I mean, I think one thing that kind of surprised me was listening to musicians years later on podcasts and do interviews where they talk about how they were swindled, or their material that they got robbed of money. Yeah, and it's like you don't even realize. I never even realized it, that kind of stuff goes on. Like, was it John Fogerty from CCR? Like he doesn't have any money from CCR or something?
Yeah.
Or
and he got sued by his own record label for sounding too much like himself.
Didn't he lose?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy stuff that goes on there. So
my two favorite stories about people getting sued is John Fogerty getting sued for sounding too much like himself when he was the guitar player and the singer for CCR. So, and then Neil Young got sued for not sounding enough like himself. He got signed to Sony, and then he started doing all these artsy records, and Sony was like, "But do you again?" And Neil Young
that's
was
not
like,
what we paid for.
Yeah, that's exactly Sony. So there's one guy that got sued for sounding too much like himself, and another guy got paid for not sounding enough like him, or sued for not sounding like himself. And I always, we talk about this a lot on the show. It's the music business, but these people forget that they're dealing with artists,
right?
You know what I mean? Like they're dealing with this, and they never, they don't put two and two together on that. So as far as Kanye goes, that's a good solid update.
And there's been other crazy stuff that he's been tweeting, but it has nothing to do with music. It just has to do with his shoes and stuff.
Well, as you do.
He's refusing to do things until he gets put on the board. He wants to be put on the board of Adidas so he can make decisions.
That I did see.
Yeah, and he's refusing to. He inked that deal with Gap, and he's refusing to work with Gap, do anything with Gap until he gets put on the board.
No.
What does he do with Gap?
He also he's going to do a whole clothing line with them.
I'm not on the board for our show, and I show up every week.
Some sort of like $1 billion deal.
Don't give him ideas.
Some sort of $1 billion deal that he inked with Gap to kind of like revitalize the brand, because no one cares about Gap anymore.
Yeah, because you can just go to Old Navy and get the same clothes for less. So
yeah.
That's real talk.
I think I was going to say most of this table right now is clothed by Old Navy. So what else have we got in music news?
There's a funny instance happening between the Doobie Brothers and Bill Murray,
which is just wonderful. Have you heard about this yet, Rob? The Bill Murray Doobie Brothers thing?
I have not.
Oh boy,
I'm intrigued.
Allow us to enlighten you, because it's wonderful.
So apparently he had been using a Doobie Brothers song in one of his commercials for his clothing.
Yeah, for his golf clothes.
His golf clothes. Mm-hmm. And instead of them being like, oh, we're going to sue you because you didn't ask us to, use the song or whatever, they sent him a cease and desist letter that basically says that they appreciate that he likes their music, but like the clothes are terrible and they don't want him using their music to represent his clothing.
It's hilarious. And then Bill Murray's legal team sent back a letter that like not only it's hilarious, but it uses a bunch of Doobie Brothers songs as puns. Like they're like, we appreciate you taking it to the streets instead of the court and whatever, And the reason why we were talking about this earlier today, the reason why it's important to me to report on this, as funny as it is because whoever is in charge of the Doobie Brothers copyrights understands that this is how you do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't just shut down what Bill Murray's doing or whatever else. Like you get one of the world's funniest people involved. I guarantee you next week we're going to hear a news story about how the Doobie Brothers music took a spike in streaming on iTunes or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like when Toto, I can't stand that cover of Africa that Weezer did.
Yeah.
But Toto was so damn cool about it. Like instead of them, suing Weezer and all this shit, they did Hash Pipe at their next concert. Like they were like, oh really?
Yeah,
oh, you're going to do
awesome.
Africa? Check this out. And like if you had asked me 40 years, if you had asked me 10 years ago if Toto was going to cover Hash Pipe, I would have been like, get out of here.
Yeah.
You're nuts. But all of a sudden Toto was cool again and was selling a ton of records again or streams or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. I think that's the way that the music business should go about this. Like, you're not going to get anywhere by just shutting people down.
Yeah, and there also is the negative aspect of what's going on is when we talked to Ocean Ship a while ago, he was talking about how...
That was our very first interview.
Yeah, how all artists, well, a lot of artists steal other artists' stuff and think nothing of it. And Bill Murray's an artist, and he was stealing their music and using it to promote his own stuff without even.
I would suggest that Bill Murray's the artist.
Yeah. So it's a thing that happens that no one even really pays attention to.
Yeah.
And like Bill Murray could easily afford to pay the Doobie Brothers to use their song, even though they probably don't want him to. But
I like in the letter back from the Doobie Brothers to Bill Murray, it was like, you're using our songs. The only person that uses our songs without permission more than you is Donald Trump.
yeah.
Which was funny because we've talked about this before. Like every time, if Trump plays 4 notes of a song at his rally, like whoever is, if it's the guy who wrote "Row, Row, Row Your Boat," he's like, no, you can't play
That's
that. So it's funny that they said that. So having said that, we have another news story based on a documentary that you watched.
Oh, yeah. So bear with me. I do not remember what the thing is called, but Vice.
Classic Kyle.
Yeah.
I watched a thing one time somewhere on the internet.
Vice.
My favorite thing when I edit our episodes is I listen to this album by a guy and I don't know the name of the song.
Vice did a story about how the music industry, aside from the artists, so like all the crew and the paid gig people, are faring during the whole COVID thing. And it's like 20 minutes long. It came as like a recommended video on YouTube. I just clicked on it and didn't pay attention to what it was called. But
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Right.
What's what the social dilemma said?
That's true.
Jesus Christ. Rob, have you seen this movie on Netflix, The Social Dilemma?
I have, yes.
Okay. Well, I just know that everything in life from Michelle that's how they get you now because she watched
That's how the
that.
man gets you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What's funny is that my dad would say that all the time, and now everybody says it, so he thinks he came up with that.
Maybe he did.
Like when cell phones came out, he's like, that's highway robbery, man. That's how they get you. $100 for a damn phone. And now, of course, it is $100, and he's like, I told you.
See, so what you need to do is have him copyright the phrase, that's how they get you, and then that's how he'll get us.
yeah, there you go.
Because Michelle says it constantly. Michelle alone will owe your dad like $300 a week.
I know.
So anyways, you and I mildly discussed this via text earlier, and like, did they cover the butterfly effect of like,
Yes.
it's not just that the band's not getting paid
So
and the venue's not,
I can't remember how many billions and billions of dollars the industry as a whole is worth, but it went from those billions of dollars to $0 overnight.
Yeah.
And all those people have not done anything since this whole thing started.
Right.
And people think that just because you're involved in the music industry, that like you're rolling in a bunch of money.
Right.
But aside from the artists, like these people
They go around peeing on grannies.
Yeah, everybody who's involved in it's all a bunch of blue collar workers that depend on a paycheck. And it's very much taking a toll on everybody. And a lot of people don't even think of it like that. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of,
As you know, you two know this very well, Rob. I don't know if you know this, but I don't sports ball at all. Like I don't have, and so everybody I know was all up in arms about sports, right? And that's all fine and good. I get it, like the merch and the fans in the stadium, and I get all that. What we have to remember is, and I'm gonna miss wildly, but like just off the top of my head, to put on one concert in let's say a theater show, you got to deal with all the union guys who are going to do all the rigging of the stage and everything. You got to deal with the house management, the band management, the servers that are going to work, the ushers, all that stuff. That's before you worry about the artist and the merch and the ticket sales and all that, okay? So then if that company is not making the lighting or the rigging or whatever else, all the people who work for that company have nothing to do,
right.
and so on. You know what I mean? And this branches out. Now, the reason why it's more important to me about music than sports ball is because with sports ball, you have like one event happening per week per city, maybe, right? And it's usually happening in one city or the other, right? With music, you're talking about here in Detroit, there's 50 concerts going on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you times that by 7 days a week and how many people are, and then it gets like, mind-boggling.
Very mind-boggling, yes.
To like think about 1 week of no shows happening. The butterfly effect from that.
Yeah,
right.
One of the guys they talked to on the thing is he runs the lighting for, or a lighting company that deals with all the lighting for all the concerts, and it's just crazy to hear them talk about how like devastating it's been.
Yeah.
And when it all happened, everyone's focusing on the artists. Oh, what are they going to do? How are they going to make money? They have money enough to sustain themselves. To a certain amount of...
Well, and that's what I told you. I said this on the show right when the lockdown started happening, and we were like, I guess people will go to online, right? And I said then, and I stick by it now, the first artist and the artists who charge for those online shows, you're a dick.
Yeah.
Because I'm not concerned with keeping you in your mansion, and I think this ties into what you were going to talk about with the Deftones, where like these people need to be taking care of the people that took care of them.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you the amount of shows I've been to where at the end of the tour, Steven Tyler or whoever says, "Oh, we want to thank we have the best crew in the business." Well, now's the time to put your money where your mouth is.
Right.
What were you going to talk about with how the Deftones are?
The Deftones released a new album called Ohms, and it has this crazy, weird, mysterious artwork on it, which I guess caused some sort of controversy because people didn't know whose eyes they were and what they were supposed to represent, but. The artwork is comprised of a bunch of different little tiny dots, and what you can do is you can go on their website and you can adopt one of those dots for $20, and I think there's like 12,000 something dots, 12,995 I think, and that money goes towards UC Davis Children's Hospital and Crew Nation, which supports the crews for all the shows that aren't happening.
They couldn't get 5 more dots in there?
Jesus. Anyways, Rob, just so you know, Michelle is always asking the important questions, and she likes to wait till we're on air to do it. So
5 dots short, see? That's how they get you.
That is how they get you.
That's how they get you.
They get you every time. You gotta watch them dots, man.
I swear to God, that's like it has nothing to do with our main topic, but that should be the title of this episode. That's how they get you with Rob.
With Rob's dad.
But I like that, and I can always count on Guns N' Roses to be the wrong example of what to do. And GNR had the nerve to put out shirts that like referred to COVID sucking. They used someone else's lyrics on the shirt. And then got embarrassed into putting the profits toward their crew. Like, literally, they were just going to take the money, and then the GNR fans went nuts and were like, "Are you actually dumb?" Like, there were enough comments on social media where GNR 3 days later retroactively changed the listing on their thing to be like, all profits go to this. So, yeah, you were going to pocket all that dough. So I think that's rad. Like, I'm not even what you would call a Deftones fan. Like, I don't hate them and I don't love them, but like, I would be a fan of them for that.
And it's definitely not something that they have to do. They're choosing to be cool about it and put money towards things that need to have money put toward them.
Yeah, which is rad. I like to see artists put their money where their mouth is. Like Kanye. If you're going to say it, to make that offer is awesome. And then
and also back to Kanye. He didn't even tell people on his label that he was going to do that. He just tweeted that everyone on my label gets 50% of their royalties back.
I don't think that's legally binding.
So then Big Sean.
Hold on, Rab. Is a tweet legally binding? What do you say?
I don't know. Maybe.
I have no idea. So then Big Sean tweets back as a response and just says thank you.
All right. Yeah, thanks, I guess. So, anyways, is the last piece that we have the Prince special edition?
Yes.
And I promised I would try and keep this short.
This is all you.
But the short version is Prince's estate released a super deluxe edition this week of the album Sign of the Times. And if you talk to the average Prince snob, like, and they say, what's your favorite Prince album? Before you can get the N out on Purple Rain, like, because most people will just go, oh, Purple Rain. Before you get the N out, they go, oh, I like Sign of the Times.
Shut up already.
Yeah. That's from Sign of the Times. That's from Sign of the Times. So, before you can even get out the N on Purple Rain, there's some Prince snob that go, oh, Sign of the Times is really the one I like. You know, like it's the snobby Prince record, and it's a stunningly good record. It's not even close to my favorite, but it's a stunningly good Prince record. And the short version is this dude was incredibly prolific at the time that he made this record. Like he had already put out after Purple Rain, he put out Around the World in a Day, Parade, Love Sexy. So he already had 3 records out, and then he put out Sign of the Times, which is a double record. And for decades, there have been rumors that, like, oh, you think the double record was great? You should have heard the tons of other tracks that he recorded for it. So the estate put out this box set this week, which is it's 13 LPs long for a double record.
Wow!
And the album itself is remastered for the first time ever, and then. Then there's a double LP set of like all the 12-inch and 7-inch edits, which are crazy hard to find. Like Prince vinyl 12 inches and 7 inches are like super expensive. It's all together on 2 LPs, so you don't have to pay anybody anymore. You know, all that. The next 6 records of this set are 45 Prince songs we've never heard before.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, they were all recorded during this time that most people say is when he was his most creative. Then the last 3 records is a 3 LP live album that's never been released before, and in the set is a DVD of a concert that's never been released before that's different from the one that's on the records. And on the DVD is the one and only time Prince and Miles Davis played together. Yeah. So many things. Yeah. So
that's a lot.
And there's a giant book with it. There's a giant LP size book that I don't know. It's at least 50 pages of like just tons of stories from people who've worked on the record and stuff. It's amazing. And last night I got a chance to listen to the live record at least straight through, and you're never going to believe this, but it's straight fire. Just the whole show is just killer. So I include that in music news because a lot of artists they've like put releases off, and even like we talked about the Beatles movie with the Peter Jackson was working on, that whole thing got moved to next year. Of course, every tour is canceled, and I like that the Prince estate was just like, okay, well, we're going to give you this. Yeah. During all
Tom Petty did the Wildflowers thing too.
That's still coming. That's like I
think the most deluxe version is like 9 LPs. I think.
Something like that. Yeah. So and I like that you know, especially like things like that, like Sign of the Times is commonly referred to as Prince's best album. Wildflowers is commonly referred to as Petty's best record. I like that we're getting that type of stuff instead of like, oh, here's the thing, Tom Petty was sitting in the bathroom, once, and you know what I mean? Like, we're going to try and sell you that for $100. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd pay $100 for that.
Yeah, I would pay $100 for that.
That was a bad example.
I'm the guy that they would absolutely be selling that to. So anyway, so that is the news roundup. Let's go on to the most exciting segment in the history of podcasting, our Jammies. So I will kick us off real quick. I have 2 songs that I'm pretty excited about, and then some shocking news for the whole world. So one is, you know how I am always getting a song stuck in my head and then it's 300 times in a row for the whole week?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the song Say Hey by Michael Franti and Spearhead?
None of those words sound familiar.
Hey, I'll be gone today because I'll be back.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I got that stuck in my head the other day. Listened to it no less than 300 times this week, and it's going to go on our playlist, so I'll be listening to that a ton more next week. So for whatever reason, I got that stuck in my head. And then the other song I've been listening to a ton just because it's cool to finally have it out in the world is our friend Brian from The Lone Bellow has been working on a solo project for at least 2 years or so.
Solo or side?
It's side. Yeah, I guess side because it's at least one other person.
A duet? Does that make a duet?
A duet.
Oh, boy.
Anyways, I first heard of it like 2 years ago, and he gave me the demos of it, and I was like, well, this shit needs to be out like right now. Like, this is great music. And so the lead single, Going Under, was finally released this week, and the name of the side project, not solo project, is Joy Club, all one word. And we'll put it on our playlist, but if anybody listens to the show and is a fan of The Lone Bellow, like, this is not The Lone Bellow. This is not folk music. Like, there's loop beats in it, there's synth samples, like, it's totally different to me than what.
Yeah.
And then when Brian starts singing, you're like, but that's the Lone Bellow guy. You know?
Yeah.
And then my last bit for my Jammy Jams, this is actually not audio, but for the first time since I was 10, I read a book.
It's not a Jammy Jam.
It is going to be a Jammy Jam. I read Hard to Handle, The Life and Death of the Black Crows by Steve Gorman. And the book is incredible. Caused me to then listen to just even more Black Crows than I usually listen to, which is a high amount.
I didn't even think that was possible.
Yeah. So there was at least 4 hours of Black Crows last night, whether anybody wanted to hear it or not. But anyways, if you were even remotely interested in the Black Crows, and if you've ever looked at them and said, like, those guys could have been huge, like, why weren't they bigger? Like, all the answers are in this book. So, like, for me reading it, it was a real revelation. Like, I was just stunned by how badly this band screwed up repeatedly. So I'm working on possibly having something for us in the future on that topic. I'll leave it off for now. I've been told that I wasn't excited enough about this last time, so let me try and get myself reared up here. Michelle, oh dear Lord, tell everybody, what are your Jammy Jams? We can't wait.
Pass.
Rob, just so you know, I've been told that I'm not excited enough to hear Michelle's Jammy Jam, so that's why I have to
I see.
Yeah, so Rob, scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to hear Michelle's Jammy Jams?
Oh, 10 easily.
Yeah.
I can barely,
Thank you, Rob.
Right
I
on.
appreciate that.
Right on. All right, Michelle, lay it on us.
So I've been stuck in the Beatles. It's just been something that I've been like. I was listening to our playlist a lot when I made it, and then it's just now it shows up in all my feeds on Spotify. So it's
we
like
keep getting a lot of tweets from people that are like, "Thanks, I'm listening to a ton of Beatles now." And I'm like, oh, "Mission accomplished."
So like it kind of went away a little bit, and then I would I missed it. So like I've been doing it on purpose now this week. It's been very Rubber Soul heavy.
Oh, that's weird.
So I've been listening to
you
a lot
just
of
wanted
that.
to listen to the ones that weren't that good.
Yep. So that has been actually. It's been like, what is that, week 3 now of the Beatles that I just can't. Like,
so
I can't.
Instead of Bieber fever, would you say that you have Beetle fever?
I would say that. I would absolutely.
Would you say you have a case of Beatlemania?
I was just going to say I think it's Beatlemania.
Oh man, I thought they found the cure for that around 1970.
They did, but
it came back.
Yeah, just like the measles or whatever. It's back.
What else you got?
So there's another thing that, and I don't even know if this is new or not, but the song isn't new. It's Peer Pressure by James Bay, and if you heard it, it's been on the radio.
Right.
But he does it as a duet with Julia Michaels, and it's phenomenal. I would
like the workout lady.
I don't think she's Julia Michaels.
Julia Michaels, or I'm thinking of Jillian.
I was like, I don't think she does workout stuff in her free time, but like she could.
Yeah. I didn't know Kathy Lee Gifford sang for like 20 years, and then all of a sudden she wouldn't shut up. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I did not know that until right now. So I don't believe it's the same lady. I think about the Biggest Loser
Jillian
lady.
Michaels. Okay.
You think it's the big? It's everything of the Biggest Loser.
I think that I misheard you. That's what I think.
No,
I want to be clear that I don't think it was the.
Well, now I'm wondering what you thought I said, because I was like, I don't know if that even sounds like
Jillian.
Oh yes, okay, not
yes.
Julia.
It's Julia.
Julia.
Okay. Right.
So, anyways,
Your
if you
name's
like
Julia
that song,
Gulia?
if you like. If you like James Bay, I highly recommend checking out just that one single, but it's been on repeat, so that's been my week.
All right, well, that was a train wreck, all my fault. Kyle, what do you got for Jammy Jams?
I did listen to the new Deftones record.
All right.
Yep, I'm a Deftones fan anyways, but I liked it a lot. A lot of the stuff that I've been reading about it, I read about. They keep posting ads for it on Facebook, and then everyone's comments are like, "Oh my god, this is great!" Like,
so what is your impression of it? Because like with Manson, you said it took some getting used to because it wasn't exactly what you expected. Is this like, if I put it on, will I be like, oh, this sounds like Deftones, or is it different?
It kind of does, because you know how he always has so many effects like on his vocals.
Sure.
It's that, but like it's not as heavy as what their other stuff is.
They've mellowed out in their old age.
Yeah, and I dig it.
Oh, Michelle has her hand raised.
2 things. One, did you tell him about about Marilyn Manson? What you told me?
What?
That he forgot his first.
Oh, that should
This
be
is music news, but we forgot.
Sure.
I fucked that
Well,
up.
just real quick.
He got his first #1 on Billboard.
Oh, that's rad.
With We Are Chaos, which sounds nothing like any of his other music.
Well, good.
Yeah.
That was just
Good. That means either he's got new fans or his old ones open their mind.
The rock or heavy metal charts of Billboard. It wasn't like the overall Billboard thing, but yeah, he had his first #1.
Well, wait, hold on. Let's see if Kyle has the touch. If the Deftones turned in a #1 record, then I mean that means that Kyle's going to have the touch. We have to go back now and see like where Big Sean one debuted. Artists might be getting the Kyle bump and not even know it.
Yeah, and then we should get money for that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like at least like 20%, right?
Right,
yeah.
For sure.
We're the kickbacks.
I forgot to ask you actually in real life if you saw that Joji had a new record come out yesterday.
I almost listened to it today and I didn't. I
chose
to listen to Deftones over that.
Okay.
All right.
It was just okay.
Sweet.
I also, aside from the new Deftones record, I was listening to Big Sean's Detroit 2 again because it's just been on rotation. Turns out he is.
Yeah, that's
Detroit, Minnesota?
Yes.
I knew
absolutely. So as we always do, we have a guest. And
we do have a guest.
We have to know. What are your Jammy Jams, Rob? What have you been listening to?
Well, let's see. Tyler Childers released a new album recently. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
Yeah, he did.
I saw him open for Sturgill Simpson once, and that's all of my exposure to him so far. But I did people I know were posting about it on Facebook.
Yeah, it's really good. It's called Long Violent History. It's a little different than what he's been doing before. This is more of like a fiddle album, like an old-timey fiddle album.
Fine with me.
That's his own words, but it's a lot of kind of Appalachian like struggle, kind of history, kind of wrote into it, and it's a really, really, really good album. I've been listening to that because it's good to listen to while I work too, because it's a lot of them are instrumental on this.
Right on.
But he did all the composing and put it all together and everything. And I think there's 2 or 3. Long Violent History is a song on there that he does sing on, but it's a mixture of actual singing and some instrumental stuff, which is really cool. It's different, and I'm a big fan of him. I think he has a great voice. I love his. There's some YouTube videos where it's just him and his guitar, where he's singing songs. Kind of like Sturgill did some of those at the brewery, and those are really good. So, and then an old favorite of mine is one that, a whole album that gets stuck in my head. I listen to it weekly is Jeff Healey Band Live at Grossman's 1994.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite live albums of all time. I fucking love Jeff Healey, and his live stuff to me is fantastic. And if you haven't heard this, Voodoo Child, Along the Watchtower, Dust My Broom, Crossroads, Who's Been Talking, Your Blues, Into Just Like a Woman, Killing Floor, I'm Going Home. And my favorite on there is his As the Years Go Passing By, the old Albert King song. And he does a really good job of it. And that I play that weekly just because I just love it. He was such a great guitar player, and he's much more than the guy from Roadhouse, because that's how people usually know him.
People know him, Angel Eyes, like that's all people know. And Jeff Healey doesn't get.
Yeah, I hate that song.
He doesn't get anywhere near the respect that he should. And usually, my first point of reference when somebody goes Jeff Healey, the Angel Eyes guy, I play his version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps for him.
Yes.
And people usually are like, oh, if you're going to play While My Guitar Gently Weeps, you're going to play the Prince version. And I'm like, no, I'm going to play the Jeff Healey one, and then not to say that one's better than the other, but it's the thing that makes people be like, I didn't know there was more to this. And then you go right to that live album and people shit, they don't even know.
I always like playing this album for buddies of mine because they've never heard this, and they're like, who is that? That's that guy. And then there's another show he did with Stevie Ray Vaughan where they're playing together, and Jeff Healey jumps up and he's got the guitar like hanging from his lap, and he's like duck walking and doing like skips and flips and shit, and he's playing, and Stevie Ray Vaughan's just looking at him like, Jesus, look at this guy, But
and for Stevie Ray Vaughan really to be looking at another guitar player that way, and I honestly, I'm not being funny. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the reason why that's super amazing is Jeff Healey was blind. So this cat's out on stage doing these moves that, like,
I did not know that.
A guitar player with full sight probably couldn't pull off.
Yeah, no shit, that's crazy.
So
yeah, he would play his guitar in his lap like a slide guitar.
Oh yeah.
And so, but he would play it standing up, but he would also have it kind of strapped to his lap, and he chorded with a slide.
Yeah.
And it's just insane. But to me, the live stuff like that, it just really blows you away, man, because you're like, God, this guy was so good.
Yeah, he really was. That's awesome. I appreciate you bringing that one up because we always make our playlist every week, and I will definitely pick songs off of that to throw on that bad boy for sure. We have run long because we've been having so much fun, so I'm going to take us to break right quick, and then right after the break, we're going to get into our main topic of discussion. So we will be back with you in just a second.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Up All Night, an Are You Afraid of the Dark podcast. We're your hosts. My name's Cortland.
And I'm Brandon.
And in our podcast, we take apart each episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, scene by scene, and discuss it in detail. This show is prime early 90s Canadian acting at its best. Or, in some cases, worst. We're here to laugh our way through 7 seasons and 91 episodes. So whether you're a fan of the show,
Think.
That's sourdough. No, mister. Accent on the dough.
Hi, Andy. Won't you come play with me?
Hey, we're just having a goof.
Or experiencing it for the first time.
We know there's nothing better than staying up all night with a scary story.
Hello there. Do you like real-life historical tales? If so, have I got the perfect podcast for you? My name is Alice, and I host the Backtracker History Show. Based in the UK, this self-confessed geek takes you for a stroll down memory lane and shares stories and interesting nuggets of information that has been discovered along the way. From tales of tragedy and sadness to epic stories of human courage or creativity, there are many people in history who have made their mark, however small. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts, and remember to leave a rating or review if you can. If you want to find out more, you can get in touch with me via Twitter or Facebook using @BacktrackerUK with a capital V, capital T, and a capital UK. But until then, take care, guys, and look after each other.
Are you tired of watching your beloved characters being tortured by careless authors?
Are you sick of feeling like they could have swapped out all of the painful action and the plot would remain untouched? Subscribe to Books That Burn, the fortnightly book review podcast focusing on fictional depictions of trauma.
We assume that the characters' reactions are reasonable and focus on how badly or well they were served by their authors.
Join us for our minor character spotlights, main character discussions, and favorite non-traumatic things in the dark books we love.
Find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We're back, and the show never hears this discussion, but in the middle, we almost always, or the audience rather, never hears this discussion. But in the middle, when we take a break, we usually have to check with Michelle to see if she has to go.
Why are you going to point fingers?
Go have a piddle, because it's always you. And Michelle didn't need to this time, and our guest Rob didn't need to either this time, because Rob just handled business right there at the table. He had a Grammy handy and just went to town.
I did.
An hour's a long time to hold your pee.
Right, for sure. That is a really long time. So, anyways, let's get down to it.
It's time for the Infectious Groove Podcast. Main topic of discussion.
So we are going to talk about music festivals. So this is just going to kind of be a general roundtable as always. And when I was putting together these questions for like how we would all talk about this, I was going to put like, what music festivals have you been to if you've been to one? And then I realized that I think I've been to every music festival ever. So we don't have time for me to
just for you talking.
Yes.
Yeah. So we can go around the room. Like I think at least I know you two have been to at least one.
Well,
apiece.
Kyle's unsure.
Kyle thinks that he went to a festival once.
I think, yeah.
Was there too many drugs, or
no? It just was not memorable, so I forgot about it.
Yeah, and we'll get into that too,
yes.
About the hows and whys.
I've been to the same music festival several times.
Oh, me too. Me too.
That's about it.
I can only think of one music festival that literally halfway through the day I was like, never doing this again. But we'll get into that. But
the last time I went to this music festival was the last time, because I was like, we're done here.
And we're done.
Yep.
Rob, what have you been to any, like either something local or even one of the, I guess what you call the big ones, like Lala or anything like that?
I've been to mostly local ones for the most part. I was when I was in the Army, I was stationed in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, which is kind of close to Nashville. So I went to several festivals there, but I don't really remember any of the names. But besides from that, I went to some local ones as a kid. My granddad had a bluegrass gospel band.
So that's awesome.
Festivals. So with that, and I was he used to have me help him carry equipment. And then I learned later on that I was just literally a roadie and I was free labor. So
I was just going to say,
I don't know.
You thought you had a cool job.
Literally, when you said he had me carry equipment, in my head I thought free labor.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only that, but child labor.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
I was like, man.
that's how they get you.
That's how they get you. Yep. Granddad gets a band, and that's it, man.
What's funny is I think local festivals might be one of the least that I've gone to. Like I've always gone to like the biggins, you know.
Oh,
like,
yes, I go to the big festival.
Well, you know. Well, what's funny is when I was a kid, the first festival that I ever went to was the original Lollapalooza, like in '91.
Where?
And it would have been here in Detroit. It was at Pine Knob.
Okay.
And man, have I been to some terrible locations for Lollapalooza as well. We went to Lollapalooza '93, was at Milan Dragway here in Michigan.
Oh boy!
Which Rob, since you're not local, sounds exactly like what it is.
Yes.
It is a dragway. So we wait
a drag strip in the middle of nowhere.
It was near 100 degrees, and the festival was held in the middle of the dragway on the asphalt. So we stood in the hot-ass air, thick air, all day. Yeah, and the whole day waiting for Alice in Chains and Rage Against the Machine. So the crowd was not friendly, you know.
What?
Yeah,
Those are very friendly bands.
And to give you an idea of how greedy this situation was between Lollapalooza '91 and '93, by the time we got to '93, now think of this in 1993 dollars. Bottles of water were $5 a piece.
Oh my god!
In like $20 now.
Yeah, I know. We paid like $18.50 for our tickets.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, Jesus, you know. So in the Lollapalooza, I went to one more. They brought it back to Pine Knob the year after that, and that was the last Lollapalooza that I went to. I kind of lost interest because the first one was like, and I'm sure I might mix up the first two, but Ice Cube, Nine Inch Nails, Jane's Addiction, people that don't belong on the same bill, but for me it was awesome. I'm I have all of these CDs, you know, and I get to see all these people, you know, at once, which was great for me. So what's your favorite festival that you've gone to, Kyle? the one that you're not even sure if it happened?
I had the opportunity to go to Ozfest like when I was like 15, and my mom wouldn't let me go.
Damn it, Mom.
That whole thing is crazy because first of all I went to that Ozfest, and then we found out recently that one of our guests played that Ozfest. So it's like pretty much everybody but Kyle went to that Ozfest.
I wanted to go so bad, but then later on, I believe at some point I went to Warped Tour. I couldn't tell you when it was. I don't know.
So it's your favorite and your least favorite by default.
Yeah,
because it's the one.
I ended up there probably with friends because they wanted to go. Most of the bands that played Warped Tour I had zero interest in to begin with.
Yeah.
But
I mean, because who would like bands that play Warped Festival? Yeah, Michelle would. Yeah, I'll tell you this though: the very first Warped Festival that came through Detroit. Do you know where it was held?
No.
I kid you not. This is real. The parking lot of the Palace of Auburn Hills. Like, not even in the Palace.
No, that's where they used to do them. It was the parking lot of the Silverdome, parking lot of the Palace, and parking lot of
always,
Comerica.
Yeah, you're
it
right.
was never inside.
That's in the parking lot. Come on.
I've never been to one that hasn't been in a parking lot.
Oh, well, you said that like it was something to be proud of.
Just saying, that's their history, man. They don't need the big stadium. You just sit outside in the parking lot.
Sure. So, of the local ones that you've been to, Rob, was there one that like stuck out more? Was it more? I would love like if my granddad was playing in one, you know, like bluegrass and stuff.
That's
but
awesome.
Is there any one that sticks out to you more than another?
I would say probably aside from the ones going with him, there was a local one not far from my hometown. I'm from Virginia originally. I live in Missouri now, but I'm from Southeast Virginia, and beach music is real big there for some reason, and like shag dancing and stuff like that. So they used to have this beach music festival. They would at this regional airport, they would truck in a bunch of sand. And literally, kind of like the drag race deal, you know, your ass is out there frying like an egg, and you know, guys are up there playing shag, and you have all these like middle-aged people, you know, in their Hawaiian shirts dancing around, and that thing was like 30 years running. I remember going as a kid, and then I went back in high school, and I was like, I'm never coming back to this again. And you know, you realize it's probably a cover for like a giant swinger party or something.
I gotta be honest. The more you talk, the more interested I'm getting. The more you talk about this festival, the more it sounds like I want to go.
You had me at sand.
I don't know if they do it anymore, but yeah. And then there was so Rocklahoma takes place not far from here in Oklahoma, and a good friend of mine who went, and he was telling me all about it, trying to convince me to go, and everything he told me sounded awful. He was like, we slept in the back of the car. We didn't shower. We split a bottle of water and a hamburger because we were starving, and it rained, so everybody was like sleeping in the mud. And I'm like, that shit don't sound fun to me, man.
Yeah, no.
Pass.
No. That don't sound like. And plus, it's always hot. I guess at these things, it's.
I've gone to Rocklahoma a couple of times, but mostly because when it started, it was speaking directly to me with its lineups. It was like Cinderella, Extreme, like bands like that. Like I think now they've brought it. Maybe in the last year or so, they brought it more to current bands. But at the time, I was like, this is like every song I love from like 1987 to 1993 in one spot. So yeah, I went at least to one of those. What is your favorite? I swear you're going to say Warped Tour.
Well, the only two that I can think of that I've been to is Warped Tour several times, and then Mopop. I don't. And Mopop,
was Mopop the one that you were like, we're done here?
No, Mopop was the one. Remember, we missed the only band I wanted to see. I literally waited all day in the heat, and we finally decided to break down, and we went and played video games in the video game tent, and then we came out, and we were like, oh, the band should be on in 10 minutes. And I was like, who's this playing right now? And they're like, Shaky Graves, and I was like, all right, let's go home.
I got a record that day, damn it. That was fun.
You did.
They had literally a mobile truck where you could play live, and they'd cut it right to the record while you were there, and it was free. So I was like, hell yeah, I'll get up there. And I did a Pearl Jam cover of a cover. Their cover of Last Kiss. Yeah. It's like 4 chords for the entire song. So I was like, I can do this without screwing up. And the story's so sad that I always remember the order that the lyrics go in.
Right.
So like I didn't start off with the girl dying in the car wreck. I remember the order that the lyrics were going to go in.
Now that we're talking about this, I think that I've also been to the Ann Arbor Folk Festival.
That's a great festival. Yep. That is they sometimes do the art fair right around it too, and that is fantastic. For me, I swear to God, this is true. My favorite festival, because I've been to the Further Festival, the Horde Festival, several Lollapaloozas. I've been to the Warped Tour.
Lilith Fair?
That Lilith Fair is my favorite festival that I've ever been to.
Seriously?
Yep, and I'll tell you why.
Do they still even do it?
I think the last time was probably like 5 years ago or so. But every festival I ever went to, I knew that I was going to like at least more than half the bands on the bill. And with Lilith Fair, I went to 3 of them. And all 3 of them, I literally looked at the lineup and was like, Sarah McLachlan, I'm in. And I have no idea who the rest of you women are. And every Lilith Fair, I came away with like a new artist that I loved.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like that I just left and was like, tomorrow I have got to go buy that CD. And that never happened at any other. I've seen some legend. I saw the Chili Peppers in their prime. I saw Pearl Jam in their prime. I saw 9 Inch Nails in their prime. And that's just covering the first 2 Lollapaloozas.
Yeah.
So I saw some amazing acts, but I was already into those acts.
Right.
Right. And whereas the Lilith Fair was always an education all day long. And, there was 2 stages, so if you didn't like what one woman was singing, you could just go find out what the other women were singing about, and there was always somebody on that I liked at Lilith Fair. So, and Sarah McLachlan was very hands-on with picking the artist. It wasn't just like, oh, well, you're a woman with a guitar, so you get to go on this tour.
Yeah.
She was like very hands-on with picking who was going to be on there. And every time I was just like, yep, dead on. Great.
I think I think I like Warped Tour so much is because there was, when I was going, it was like every single person I at least heard of, if not like loved. So I remember having to because you don't get the agenda ahead of time, the schedule. So I remember you have to and this is before really cell phones, you have to write down where you have to be at what time. And there was 10 stages. I feel like there was the tiny ones for people you've never heard of. And it was an entire day's, from the time it started to the time it ended, you were just walking around doing different stages.
Lollapalooza 94, my buddy was dead set. He's like, no matter what, we got to get to the tiniest of all the stages at this time to see this guy. I've heard so much about this dude, and I had no idea who he was talking about. And I kid you not, me and my buddy stood there and watched with maybe 7 other people this guy do his bit. We met him and talked to him afterwards, and it was Moby.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And Moby, by the way, is a foot shorter than me and a frail human being. So we're shaking hands and hugging him, and I was literally I think I'm going to break your Moby. This guy's not going to go on because I'm going to break them. And things like that are awesome, where you get to get turned on to that one artist.
I don't know if they still do them or if they do them at other festivals. I didn't notice them at Mopop, but at Warped Tour they always had signings. You could go and get all your stuff signed, and that was just amazing. When you're young,
I waited through a signing at Lollapalooza '95 for the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones because my buddy was a huge fan. And when we got to the table, they were like, "And do you have anything to sign?" And I was like, "No, thank you." I didn't want to be rude, but it was like when I met Velvet Revolver and Scott Weiland was like, hey, do you want me to sign your poster? And I was like, I guess, it's like, I'm here for the 3 guys from GNR, and then also you're with them.
Yeah. I went and saw specifically to see the Fall Out Boy signing or whatever and go through line with them. We got to take pictures and stuff. And this is like when you had, you just brought a disposable camera to Warped Tour and all the pictures from the ground usually of, just awful pictures. And I still have them, I think, somewhere in my house.
Yeah.
And those are great. And I did have a friend who met Coheed and Cambria and literally cried the entire time. And I was like, I don't know who this lady is. She's embarrassing.
Like I alluded to earlier, I might have something coming up for the show. I'm pretty sure I'm going to cry the whole time.
I'm pretty sure.
All right, well, then I'm leaving.
Aside from the big acts at Warped Tour, all those bands, that's all they do is play Warped Tour.
Yeah. And they would just
just every year, all summer long, was Warped Tour at some different city, and that's all they did. And then they come back around and play Warped Tour again.
Do you think that's how Ozfest is, though? Besides the big acts?
No, the bands that play Ozfest, like Rob Zombie and that, they have their own.
Besides the big acts, I've never been.
Is
it Warped Tour where there's a whole bunch of tiny stages too?
Yeah. There's at least 2 stages.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't allowed to go to Ozfest when I had the chance, so I don't know.
Rob, can you? I don't know if you're any sort of counselor, but can you help Kyle with this? He's having a breakdown about not having gone to that Ozfest.
All I wanted to do is see Slipknot when I was 15 years old.
You know what my memory is of that Ozfest? Of course, Slipknot played, but my memory of that Ozfest is you guys know Chris Kimmel. He got all hammered and was so angry at the name of the band System of a Down. He just hated their name. And the whole time they were playing, he was in my ear being like, that would be like Bird of a West. How stupid is that? And he was so mad about the name of the band. And I was like, the people around us probably want to hear this band and not you yelling about the name of the band. So Rob, I want to direct this one at you. What do you think about what you've seen of these virtual festivals? Do you have I've literally seen this where they're like, we're going to do a virtual festival with 10 bands and then you tune in online. Does that even remotely interest you at all?
I think it would depend on who it is and what they were doing. A little while back, Sturgill played at the Ryman, I think it was, and he put it on YouTube. So that's not really like a festival, but that was I was like, I didn't know this was happening. I tuned in and watched it because I'm a big fan of his. But I think it would depend on who it is and what they were doing, as opposed to what I would watch it or not. I think the problem is, obviously with a show, the major part of the experience is actually being there, because nobody's like, oh, I remember, seeing them in concert from my living room on TV. Obviously, it's a whole different kind of experience, I think.
Yeah. So the question that I was going to follow up with, and I'll just ask you this now before I move on, is, and you're kind of answered it already, but is there any version of a virtual festival that would interest you? It would pretty much have to be people that you already love, right? You wouldn't tune in just to watch a headliner that you love and maybe a bunch of bands you haven't heard of, or?
No, I would definitely be open to that. If it was someone I liked, say the Foo Fighters, and then some other bands I not heard of, because I always love discovering new stuff and listening to stuff I've never heard before. So, I would definitely be up for that.
Yeah, the only way for me that it would be appealing, and I was, when I was thinking about this topic, I kind of did this once already. I kind of attended a virtual festival way before it was cool. Well, and you were there for it with the day Pink Floyd reunited. For Live 8.
You keep telling me I was there.
You were 100% at my house that day. I cried and everything while they were playing. Trust me.
Was I drinking?
Oh, yeah. And you were openly making fun of me about crying watching the people I never thought
okay, now that sounds like me.
Yeah, you absolutely, because the whole room was silent. Everyone was in awe, and when I started to cry, you go, really? And everyone laughed. So, yeah, I remember distinctly.
I don't remember this.
Yeah,
that didn't happen.
100%. No. We played Bags in the backyard while Madonna was playing. It was the first day we ever heard the Sister Sisters because they played in London, and
You're
both of us
of somebody else.
No,
you're thinking of a different asshole.
I'm thinking of this exact asshole. It was at the house in Farmington. You were there. Trust me, you were there. The big stories that come out of that house is that and me waking up in the bathroom after we played poker. Yeah. So anyways, when Pink Floyd reunited, I wasn't in England for that, but they televised all of Live Aid, the 4 or 5 different continents it was happening on, and I literally threw a big party at my house. Michelle will tell you about it. She was there. But we had it on the TV, and for me, this virtual festival, that's what it would take. Not Pink Floyd, but it would take a big reunion from someone that there's physically no way for me to see, and then I would tune in and watch all day. What about you guys? Kyle, joking but not, Slipknot. If they put together an online festival.
Oh, no, man, you have to be at a Slipknot concert. I can't watch that shit on the computer or on TV or something. There's no way.
Okay.
Stuff like that, you have to be. So I could watch Garth Brooks play No, that's a lie. That's a goddamn lie. I could watch somebody.
You'd have to make Michelle stand the whole time.
I could watch City and Color play a virtual concert because not a lot happens at his show. You sit and watch him play guitar and sing, and it's
specific.
It's fine.
Okay, so if City and Color does a show in the festival-esque, right? So there's 10 other bands on the bill. Are you going to watch the whole thing like you would a festival, or would you just tune in for them and that's it?
See, so that's what I don't like about festivals is having to choose who you go see at what time. Because every single time I look at the bill for a festival, there's multiple people that I would love to see play at the same time. They have to choose. I don't like that. So I would probably stick around for the entire thing until I saw something I didn't like and stop watching it.
Just bounce.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle, I feel like you're going to be a firm no on this, but I'm going to ask you anyways. Is there any version of a virtual festival? Like before I'm even
she looks mad about it.
Yeah, she's like mad at me for asking the question.
No, I need my $10 beer. I need my $15 water. I need to be miserable on the asphalt. I need to be for. And this is for live music in general. I need to be outside. There's no part of virtual concerts that...
Is this why you think you weren't at the Pink Floyd thing?
Yep.
Okay. She was there. I'm telling you.
But there's, like, even the virtual concerts that are going on now, it just doesn't interest me. I have 0% interest of sitting on my couch watching music. I want to be dressed up. I want to go out. I want to, like, see this live music. I want to,
for me, the big one,
beer.
it would be a big reunion for me, would do it. Like, that would be the thing where I would literally throw, like you attended before, I would throw an all-day party down here and just be like, have it on, like, 4 screens and shit. But it would take that gargantuan reunion to get me to do it.
To me, the only advantage of it is, I told you guys before, is I didn't go to a lot of shows when I was younger because I hate being around a lot of people crammed into a place.
Sure.
And a festival is that exact nightmare, but like amplified with way more people crammed into a place. So being able to not have to deal with that and being able to see the music at the same time would be okay, if you look at it from that point of view.
Right on.
But it only would apply to certain bands for sure.
So, Rob, you kind of answered this one a little bit, or I think you did. In a perfect world where music festivals are happening, like, who would you want to see one centered around? Like, we've seen damn near everybody gets their own festival now. Like, Korn has a festival, for crying out loud.
The Family Values
and I think Ozfest was the original splinter of that, like, born from the fact that Lollapalooza was great for rappers and alternative acts, but, like, there wasn't a festival for metal. And hadn't been since the Monsters of Rock tour in, like, the late 80s.
Now they have Rock on the Range, too.
So, and so now we're starting to see more of those. But, Rob, who is a band you can think of that you would say, if they were touring with a festival, I would go see that festival for them, and then whoever else is on the bill?
I would say definitely. I know I mentioned the Foo Fighters before because I haven't seen them live, and that's
they're great.
Something that I really, really, really want to do. So definitely them, because my wife and I are big fans of theirs, and we were gonna go next time they came up to Kansas City, which is only 2 hours from here. But of course, all that's kind of
up in the air,
in question. And I saw Metallica in 2010.
Oh man!
And that was like my first. That was my first real, I guess, rock concert. Because, like, kind of like Kyle, when I was younger, I didn't go to any concerts. I remember going with my parents to see Alabama at the Richmond Coliseum. A little kid,
playing that mountain music. Hell yeah!
Yeah, man. Yeah, my dad's like, woo! He's like yelling and stuff. So I've never seen him so happy in my life. That was crazy. But
that's awesome.
But, they came to Charlottesville, Virginia in 2010. They were there with Gojira and Lamb of God.
Oh, right on.
Lamb of God's a Virginia band. And so that was insane. Like, I've never, that was just crazy. And just like Kyle said, you can't get that kind of experience with that kind of band, with those kind of bands from sitting at home,
Yeah. Metallica, for me, is a sore subject, and not because of them, but because they tried. They were going to do, like, where Lollapalooza now isn't touring anymore. It's a destination in Chicago. It just happens like it's like a Bonnaroo or where it's the one thing. Metallica tried to create their own 2-day festival and tried to base it here in Detroit on Belle Isle. They did it one time. It went off flawlessly, and the city of Detroit told Metallica, "You're not welcome here anymore."
Oh my god!
And it wasn't just because Kirk Hammett is a huge horror guy, so it was an art festival as well. So it was like all these metal bands played. Metallica did the day, and then there was tons of horror artists, and all these other people were there too. So it was a cultural event, and it went off without a hitch. And the city of Detroit was like, no, thank you. And Metallica tried to do that for Detroit. And this was, probably about 10 years ago or so.
Sounds about right.
What a shame.
So, but I would if Metallica did any sort of festival, I would go to that. Foo Fighters for sure. Just because I envisioned Dave Grohl to be the type of guy like Sarah McLachlan was, where I would think you would get artists on the bill that Dave would want you to hear.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
like the first time I ever heard of Billie Eilish was like 3 years ago when Dave Grohl was talking about her, you know, and then for 2 years I was like, who the hell was he talking about? And then boom,
Yeah.
she blew up. So, Michelle, is there an artist you can think of that if they said we're putting together a festival, you would be like, I'm there no matter what?
Mumford.
Yeah, Mumford and Sons.
Mumford and Sons,
for
yeah.
sure. And I would assume you'd get. Let me put it this way: there'd be a lot of banjos in that trailer.
So many banjos.
I would imagine you would get a whole lot of Mumford-esque.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know. With their growth, maybe you'd get some like electronica and stuff too.
That'd be fun.
Which would be dope.
Yeah.
I think because I continue to be in love with their last two records. The evolution of that band is
I
just
know, and people hate it, and I'm just
good.
Marcus Mumford can do nothing wrong to Michelle. So
yeah, sure can.
Jesus H. As soon as that came out of your mouth, as soon as that came out of your mouth, I was like,
So, sometimes I don't think before I speak.
Well, sometimes, huh?
Oh, sometimes. For you, Kyle, I mean, I don't want to be a dick, but the obvious answer is Slipknot. Like, if they brought them back on another
Yeah,
festival.
so Slipknot does this thing called Knotfest at Sea, and it's a cruise.
Yeah.
And I've never been on a cruise, but I would absolutely do that if I could with Slipknot and whatever bands they had playing.
Yeah, I would go to that too. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not like as big of a fan as you are, but I would go to that A for the cruise,
Yeah.
and B, again, I think Corey Taylor is probably a hands-on enough guy to where you're not going to get stuck with whoever the label told him to put on that cruise. You're
Yeah.
probably going to get people that he plus couldn't he do a whole festival by himself? Isn't he in like 7 bands?
Yeah, now he does solo stuff now too. So there's enough content that he does by himself.
Yeah.
To hold everybody over,
which is rad. So we are going to have to address the elephant in the room, and this is the last point that I have to talk about. Is you know why we have to dream about festivals is because of the Rona, and there are no festivals. Here in Michigan, Big Gretsch just announced that they're going to open up for live performances at all again now, which is great.
Yeah, but I wonder how they're going to do that.
Yeah, I do wonder how they're going to do that. Oh, hey, by the way, I meant to tell you, my wife mentioned me this week. Her favorite thing that you do on the show is when you start really high and then whisper by the end of your sentence, and there was a wonderful example of that.
All right, I'm going to keep doing that. Then.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But so even, let's say they start with, socially distanced shows or whatever else, like, Kyle, do you think we're going to get back to being able to have music festivals? Because, I mean, like, a regular concert we remember is one thing. A music festival is a whole other.
At some point, yeah. In the near future, no, because
by near future, you're 2 years, 5 years,
probably like 5 years or more before you're able to have like something like massive like Coachella or something ridiculous like that, where they just cram everybody in there and charge you lots of money. It's going to be years before I think we get back on track.
My
with
guess
that
is
stuff.
5.
Yeah,
I'm thinking at least 5 before we get and that I don't think we're going to see touring festivals for a while.
And to be honest, I don't even want to go to go see Slipknot. I don't want to go see them again until I'm able to be at a normal show.
Yeah.
Because
you're gonna be a seated Slipknot show.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like wear my little bubble thing there and like bounce into people, and so I'm staying away from them.
I'll tell you what, though, the older I get, like I've told stories on the show before about like when it came FDM and I thought I was going to die in the mosh pit.
Yeah.
You put me in a rubber suit, I'll jump in there. Like I'll get right back in there, man.
Now I want to see a whole bunch of bubbles moshing.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
That would be rad. Do you know how body surfing would be amazing in one of those?
It's like bubble boy shit.
Yeah. Yes. It'd be like when you go to a concert or if you see in wrestling when people have beach balls out.
Yeah.
How much do you want to just be like popped around in the air?
Yeah.
Sure. Michelle, your thoughts on actual in-person festivals? Are we going to see them again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
How
the
soon?
Spanish flu died out, and we got to do things again. So I mean,
everybody died out, and then
I was going to say
we repopulated the earth.
I was going to say
it's like 100 years then, I guess.
If you read history books on the Spanish flu, typically they end with, and then we got to do things again.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would like to be hopeful and think like 2023, summer of 2023. But
the only one I've heard from is Riot Fest in Chicago. Is they seem they're like, this is happening in 2021. Like, Rona or not, we're doing Riot Fest next year. Now, they're saying that now.
Yeah.
People talked a big game about not canceling their tours too. In April, they were like, "No."
I told you guys back on the show as soon as Roger Waters was the first. Roger Waters was literally the first artist to be like, "Well, see you in 2021." And I was like, "I'm telling you, it's going to be dominoes." And for sure, shit, everybody finally kept.
Yeah,
canceling.
I understand holding out hope.
Yeah.
Not canceling stuff for nothing, but
because of what we talked. Nothing else. The financials, what we talked about in the news segment. You know,
Yeah.
like just pulling the plug on a festival is more than just pulling the plug on that one
They're
festival.
going to have to do something because of the financials. Like that's these people's careers is doing this stuff. So like you have to have something for them to do.
Right.
Not everyone could just go work at McDonald's until this all blows over.
Man, I want to be waited on by Corey Taylor so bad right now. In his mask. In his mask too.
I will say I helped put on a different convention, not music related, and we were told that they are not allowed to have more than 5 people, which this was like 3 months ago, at a conference until there's a vaccine for everyone. So they were like, don't plan on this. Like, we're not holding anything in our conference centers. And we, had several thousand people come in through the door for this convention. And they were just like, don't even ask. Like, stop asking us when we're going to allow you to come back in.
Wow.
So, but they're doing tattoo conventions in Germany.
But they also don't
this
like
weekend,
you too, though.
so they do. They do not like us.
Yes.
They also have brought back reptile conventions. Like, it's a thing that's happening currently. Like, right now, this weekend, there's a reptile convention somewhere.
But not in Michigan.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't know. So, even if there are touring...
Yeah, the hotspots might not be...
Yeah, so, there might not be... We might not get live concerts until for 2023 at all, even though other states do.
That's for sure. Rob, what do you think? You think we're going to see festivals come back in person anytime soon?
I don't think it's going to be soon because, as you guys were talking about, there's so many people involved just to make it happen, right? So those people are affected. The logistics of it, the food, everything that goes into it. It's not just bringing people in and the bands, because the bands are obviously any musician, of course, most of them, they have the money and means to be able to keep themselves kind of secure, where they can kind of get like bubbled in, dropped on stage, do their thing, and then bubbled back out. But all the other people, it's going to be a problem, and it's really state dependent because like Florida just opened everything up wide open this week.
Yeah, well, Florida is always who we look to for our moral high ground.
They're on the forefront of opening everything all the time. Yeah.
And look for next week's headlines coming out of Florida.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's a problem. You're going to have some people try to do. Remember, Vanilla Ice was going to try to have a concert, and he finally was like, "Okay, no, I'm not going to."
Yeah.
It's just kind of silly, and everybody wants to get back to this kind of stuff, but it's just going to take some time.
Yeah, for sure.
And because there's no regulations with anything, it's just like the casinos here. Like, they all have different rules.
Holy cow.
So, like, you have to sit down at the bar to order a beer, but then you can stand up and walk away and walk around with it.
Yeah. Rob, do you have any local casinos around where you're at?
Yeah, we do. We live like 5 miles from Oklahoma, so right across the line, there's several casinos.
Okay.
And I think they were closed for a bit, but then they reopened with social distancing and a mask.
Yeah.
And there was a picture floating around of this guy sitting at a slot machine, and he cut a hole in it and had a cigarette hanging out of his neck.
Yeah, I've seen that picture.
So that's how people do shit in the casinos,
Yeah. So but when you talk about music festivals and stuff happening again, or in concerts in general, like, you have these weird rules for like alcohol and eating and stuff at these places, and that's all a concert is a bunch of drunk people that aren't going to stand 6 foot apart, and you can't. There's no way to enforce any of this stuff. It's like impossible.
Yeah.
And anything, they're going to be at reduced capacity. So, like, is it even financially worth it when they do open?
Right.
They reduce capacity, so then they have to either charge more for the people who are going to make it worth money, or worth their money and time, and then you won't be able to see the concert for. You're going to be like waiting until 5 years for them to come back around because only 100 people can go in at once or something like that. Like,
they're going to have to do like 10 night.
Stints.
So it sounds like all 4 of us are agreed on 3 to 5 years, with three being
that's like
a
our
dream
time
world.
in jail. Like, if you're good, you can get out in
I
3.
feel like I'm absolutely sentenced right now. Like I did something so karmically bad that I'm sentenced to 3 to 5 years without live shows.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, see, I like I said, I didn't go to a lot of live shows when I was younger, but like I was starting to get the taste of them, like with you guys, and
then you went and saw Garth.
Wait! It's your fault.
No, I want more.
Yeah.
I know, but we were going along just fine in life, and then you were
people are trying to say China caused the virus. It sounds like it might have been.
Have been Kyle. That's not my fault.
Kyle, China,
tomato.
Kind of similar. All right, well, we will wrap things up. Rob, brother, we want to say thank you so much for making the time. Rob was actually supposed to be on last week, but it turns out I don't understand time zones.
Time zones are hard. -1 is hard.
What's that?
That was my fault. I thought you guys were in Central Time. And
everybody thinks Detroit is in Central Time.
You guys switched in like 1942, so I was only 80 years too late, so it's not a big deal. So
it's fast. Is that real?
Yeah, that's real. And if you look at the map, the Eastern Time Zone curves to the
to
west.
accommodate us.
I was like, what? Because I was on another pod and I was going to do you guys right after that, and I was like, oh man. So I pulled up I googled it and I was like, look at that crap. You gotta be kidding me. Come on.
Well, I learned something new today.
Right? Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So we learned today that Detroit has only been in the Eastern Time Zone for 80 years. So I understand now why
it causes confusion.
Yeah,
yes.
it causes confusion.
Yeah.
So.
It's a recent development.
Right. So yeah, we had a lot of fun. I'm hoping that we have a big cool thing happening next week. I don't want to say too much about it yet, but trust me, if Monday goes off without a hitch, I will be dumping all over our social media about
and on the floor
about our next episode, and on the floor at the exact same time. So again, we want to thank Rob from Fat, Drunk, and Stupid for coming along with us. As we always say about this time, without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
The Infectious Groove podcast is hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Wimple, and Michelle Koselecki. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Opening credits read by Stacey Robinson. Recorded with a Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mics.